Well, now we are going to move to our next presentation of the afternoon. So, Jackie, can you say hello and give us a self-introduction?
Hi, hello. I mean, there were so many great nuggets of advice in your presentation, Kristen, and I just particularly really enjoyed the focus on personal reflection, so thank you. But my name is Jackie Silvestrov, and I'm truly just grateful to be here with all of you today. So as we take a journey of self-reflection and shed light on the connection between your values, leading authentically, and nurturing meaningful connections. But before we dive in, I hope you first take a moment and really celebrate your decision to join this conference in order to invest in yourself. So, three cheers to you and making this a priority. And one thing you may notice during our time together is that I will not be using any slides. So, in discussing a topic of authentic leadership and connection, I wanted to keep things simple and make it more about our conversation, personal reflection moments, and also connecting on the topic as well as each other, and less about focusing on that presentation material. So, to kick us off, I'll first take a step back and share a little bit about my background. Professionally, I have experience owning a business, I've worked in various industries and professions, and currently have a rewarding job where I get to cultivate and nurture an environment that places the focus on exceptional colleague experiences. I'm so fortunate to not only love my job, but to also be surrounded by incredibly talented people every day. And while my career has been anything but a linear path, it has been an exciting journey so far and has really allowed me to dabble in different experiences, develop wonderful relationships, and really create my own trail. I'm also an active supporter of diversity and inclusion, serving as co lead of the Women's Business Resource Group for Pennsylvania and New Jersey at my organization. And here I'm able to develop strategies that really foster a culture of care and support while removing those barriers and biases that further elevate the experiences of all of our customers, our colleagues, and our communities. I also feel very strongly, I know we heard a lot about it already, about giving back to our communities, but also about approaching a life through a holistic lens of well being and truly nurturing that sense of community and creating compassion for others. And after being touched personally by the American Heart Association's mission, I was inspired to educate myself on heart disease and stroke while also giving time as a volunteer. And you'll hear more about that later. But as an advocate for the American Heart Association, I help to build awareness around heart disease, empower women to take control of their well being so that we can make progress in being that relentless force for longer, healthier lives together. I also proudly serve on their South Central New Jersey Regional Board of Directors and as a member of their executive leadership team for the Garden State Go Red for Women Luncheon, which is right around the corner if anybody's interested on May 15th. But outside of work, I also enjoy a good book. So please feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn and share any recommendations that you may have. And I'll also be taking a look at some of the recommendations, Kristen, that you made here today. So thank you for sharing all of those. But I also really value art in all forms. And I just really find it to be a beautiful way to experience that world in a shared means. And the reason I start here with all of this context is because I wanted to share a little bit about my authentic self with you. We all have different backgrounds, we all have different experiences and perspectives, but that's what makes life so beautiful and enriching. And throughout my entire career, I have seen firsthand the impact of authentic leadership. Because when you're authentic, it helps to inspire and strengthen trust, it increases morale, it boosts productivity, it also fosters a positive work environment and creates a long term focus on our collective goals. Now, at the end of the day, there is no right or wrong way to lead authentically. And this is truly me sharing my personal experiences, research on this topic, and also encouraging you to take an opportunity for yourself to determine what leading authentically means to you. so that you stay true to your core values in all that you do. And after all, generally speaking, most people can sense an inauthentic interaction. So if we took a moment now to think of an instance where you've experienced this, I'm sure a few may come to mind. However, when you stay true to yourself and create an inclusive environment, you're able to create a safe space that really allows for those diverse perspectives to be heard and also allow you to foster a culture of respect and understanding for one another. And now another reason I gave a brief overview of some of the things that I'm involved in both professionally and personally at the beginning of our time together is because I get the question all the time of how do you find the time to get it all done? And the honest answer for me is that when you truly enjoy the activities that you're involved in, it doesn't even feel like work. And instead, you feel like you're living with purpose, you feel like you're living with an intention, and in other words, you feel like you have a North Star. And now you may be asking, well, what exactly do I mean by having a North Star? And quite simply, it's about being able to determine your why. So, what gets you excited and gives you a sense of purpose? Determining your why, it allows you to live a fulfilling life. It's a holistic life. It's connecting your choices, both personal and professional, to your values and your passions. And having a North Star will also allow you to align your values and passions to all that you do for that increased joy, enthusiasm, engagement, and also resiliency. And I don't know about you, but who doesn't want to sign up for all those things? But in essence, your values will provide greater satisfaction with your choices and also your actions. And now you want to use your values as your North Star to guide your leadership approach. And when I speak of being a leader, you do not have to have a team under you to be a leader. And in this world of creating followers through social media and all those other opportunities, I've always been so much more interested in creating more leaders. And all of us, regardless of our title, are leaders in our own right. And your North Star, in part, is also about understanding your values, which can lead to all those things I mentioned earlier. And I say this because when you're acknowledging your values and make plans or decisions that are aligned with them, you can make truly informed decisions about how you want to live your life. And success or a meaningful life can mean different things to different individuals. So it's really about identifying what that means to you and making your decisions accordingly. They are the driving force behind your attitudes, your behaviors, and actions. And living your life in accord with your values will also likely enable you to live more freely and without self-doubt. And you'll no longer be second guessing yourself because your decisions will have the weight of your values behind them. And so for the next 2 minutes, we're going to take a pause and give you the time to either think about or write down your 5 core values. And if you can't think of 5, that's okay. You can just focus for now on any of your core values that come to mind. So I'll just give you 2 minutes right now, just again, to think of 5 core values that are important to you. Okay, 1 minute down, 1 more minute left. 5 core values. And again, it's okay if you don't have all 5 and can only think of a couple that come to the top of mind. Oh, I love it. So honesty, accountability, innovation, community. These are all really good ones, Anila. Kindness, absolutely. Okay, so we have our few minutes here. Empathy, integrity. Oh, I love it. Love it. I love all the core values coming through here. But next, I want you to see some parallel connections here. So we're going to imagine, work with me. We're going to go on a little imaginary trip here, but we're going to imagine that you're planning a dinner party. Now, dinner parties offer a sense of comfort, anticipation, belonging, new experiences, and also a way to connect with others. And we'll get to why are we planning a dinner party here when we're talking about authentic leadership and connection, but I promise we'll connect it all together. So if you are planning a dinner party, the first thing I want you to think about is what is the purpose of the dinner party? And again, this is the dinner party of your dreams. It could be anything that you truly would love to throw. So what is the purpose of the dinner party? Is it for a housewarming? Is it to celebrate an accomplishment? Or maybe to commemorate a ritual of some sorts? So I'll give you one moment to just think about what is the purpose of the dinner party of your dreams? Celebrating your retirement. Oh, that's very exciting. That's a fun one. Hopefully it's soon for you. The challenges you've overcome so far this year. Love that snow. That's beautiful. Okay, so now once you have your purpose of the dinner party, the next thing I want you to do is think about what type of menu will you enjoy? So is it going to be a really fancy plated dinner? Is it going to be a open buffet? Is it going to be a family style? So just think about now, what type of menu will you enjoy at this dinner party of your dreams? Ooh, celebrating a major new decade in your life. Love that, Terry. So after you think about your menu, next I want you to think about what will the ambiance be? So is it going to be a themed party? Is it going to be small and intimate? Is it going to be unbelievably packed and you have more people on your list than you can only imagine? So I want you to think about, again, what will the ambiance be of it? Small, intimate, and open buffet. Laura, I love that. Sounds like a lot of great conversations happening there. And then last, I want you to think about is who will be on your invite list and why? And again, that could be a grand scale where maybe you can't even list out the number of people that are going to be on your invite list and a few come to mind, or maybe it's going to be that really intimate affair. And who are those individuals going to be surrounding you at that intimate dinner party? And why did you choose that? Great. Okay. So regardless, we're going to pull it all together now. Regardless of what your dinner party encompassed, the key is that it was special and meaningful to you. Now, if you think back to our values and our North Star, did some of your values weave into your planning? And so if you planned a small, intimate affair with loved ones, maybe one of your core values are family. And if you were coordinating a large grand scale affair for a fundraiser, maybe, or maybe a retirement, I know we heard that here, maybe one of your values was community. And if you're planning an extravagant, highly adorned festivity with a theme so that attendees could dress the part, those are always fun. I know Great Gatsby is always something people love to do. It's going to be on Broadway soon too, I think. But maybe one of your core values is creativity. So these are just a few examples, but at the end of the day, everyone's dinner party is going to look different. But you are creating a connection and an experience that fools you, which is so important. And so now that you have a few of your values, I'll share some research around authentic leadership. Now, according to Harvard Business Review, authentic leadership is a leadership style exhibited by individuals who have high standards of integrity, take responsibility for their actions, and also make decisions based on principle rather than short-term success. So they use their inner compasses to guide their daily actions, which enables them to earn the trust of their employees, peers, and shareholders, also creating approachable work environments and boosting team performance. And through their research, they've also shown that authentic leadership's key differentiator is the motivation behind it. So going back to the values we were just talking about. And an authentic leader strives to create a meaningful relationship. Keyword here is meaningful relationship with their team as they work toward goals related to their organization's mission and purpose, and not just its bottom line. But really, authentic leadership can be inside or outside of your regular core jobs. And so by contrast, they've also seen that managers who struggle with inauthenticity often find themselves feeling depleted, they're losing interest in their work, and they experience low levels of job satisfaction. And a part of this, they say, is because it takes a lot of energy to behave in ways that are out of sync with our true values, our priorities, our hopes, our characteristics, but also our leadership styles. And so the energy that we're expend trying to come across as something that you're not is really energy that's unavailable for you to work and also other activities and build those more meaningful relationships. And so I love this research from the Harvard Business Review because it really brings to the forefront how everyone has a different personality and leadership style, but it's about showing up as your true self each and every day. And when you understand your values and what motivates you, it really makes it easier to let your superpowers shine. And trust me when I say each and every one of you have a superpower that you have to let shine. So to be authentically you, it's important to have self-awareness. So that self-reflection we were talking about earlier. And this enables you to really understand yourself and your relationships to others, the organization, but also the bigger vision that you have in mind. It's also about being genuine in your approach. It's about showing empathy and ethics when making decisions, and also having that integrity and remaining committed to doing what's right all the time. It's also about being results focused so that you can energize others to really see that bigger picture vision as clearly as you do. And so you should all really take pride in the fact that you are irreplaceable, and being authentically, unabashedly true to yourself will allow your skills to shine. And so, as I mentioned earlier, it nurtures that environment of diverse perspectives, and in turn allows others to feel a greater connection to their work, to their peers, but also feel that they're in a safe space to be innovative with their ideas, so that they don't have judgment when they're bringing them to the table, which ultimately brings a better end result. But it's also about letting others thrive in their own way. We all have a different way of approaching things and bringing ideas to the table, but everybody can be unique to themselves. And there was this great piece by Psychology Today that touches on this topic. And it stated that an authentic connection is a genuine and real connection with someone else in the present moment. So we all wear masks and we build facades to protect ourselves. But humans naturally crave interaction and connection with other humans. And showing vulnerability and sharing your true self with someone else starts with the ability to listen and also to be able to sit in their space in order for them to also want to share their world with you, which is so important. And it leads us to the topic of meaningful connections. There's that word again. It's all about meaningful relationships, meaningful connections. But you'll notice that I'm not simply the connections part, right? It's intentionally calling out the meaningful connections because it requires you to be present and in the moment to fully engage and listen with others. It's also built as two-way streets around honesty and transparency. It's about leading with compassion and empathy. And again, it takes intention. And you never truly know what someone else is going through, right? There's a whole bunch of things that are happening either personally or professionally in someone's life. But by being open to building an authentic connection, you're able to break through those surface level conversations and build those deeper relationships and understanding from diverse perspectives. And when we do that together, that is how we truly thrive. So as I reflect back on my journey and what brought me to where I am today, every single path I took was centered on being authentic to who I am as a person and aligning my decisions to my values. And so, just to share a personal story that brings some of our discussion here to a real life experience, while I'm currently on the board of directors for the American Heart Association, it was truly with purpose that I sought out this organization. Several years back, my father had 2 heart attacks and a stroke, which led to an emergency open heart surgery procedure, which is a surprise to all of us. But after his surgery, we were initially told that they didn't think he was going to make it. And he spent a very long time in ICU. And I'm grateful to share that he did survive and is still with us here today, thankfully. But that experience really opened my eyes and made me want to understand more about heart disease and ultimately how I can help others in preventing them from going through a similar experience. So I started researching everywhere as I possibly could, and I saw a section on the American Heart Association's website that I could reach out to and find opportunities to become involved by volunteering. And that was purely all I expected to do. But after volunteering, I became deeply passionate about the cause and I wanted to keep giving back. And so I started to become more involved to the point that the American Heart Association started asking me to take on leadership roles in various capacities that led me to my current position. However, to me, it's so much more than that. In being involved with them, I found another family with the American Heart Association, and I've been incredibly inspired by their survivors, by the volunteers, the employees, but ultimately it's their relentless pursuit for having a healthier opportunity for everybody to live their best life. And while being involved is also aligned with my values for well-being and also giving back to our communities. So tying back to where my values came involved there. And while the organization has been thankful for my contributions, I too felt as if I was receiving a gift through this experience. And so as you evolve through your career, I just really hope that you remember to take a pulse with yourself and have those self-reflection moments on what your motivations are so that you can build others up with you along your journey. And so I know we're about to close out here, but I just hope that you feel inspired to really identify your core values if you haven't already, so that you can authentically be you in all that you do. And remember that this is truly just an opportunity for you to make space for your own growth so that you can chart your own course, both personally and professionally. And after all, you too are a gift to this world. So thank you.
Well, Jackie, thank you for that fantastic presentation. We really appreciate your energy and we really appreciate you giving us a lot to think about this afternoon.